One of the most powerful tools the people in the press have is a right to know law, because people have a right to know what their government is doing, how they're making their decisions. The fact that we were able to get major changes to ensure that those operations continue and expand it to the governor's data, their decisions, and how they're coming to these decisions through their modeling is critically important during these times. I've often said, and I truly believe, that during states of emergency, when government has superpowers, they should have super transparency. The fact that there was pushback from the administration, I've learned in my tenure here is those who are hiding something usually don't like transparency or accountability. Those who truly believe in it want it as open and as transparent as possible. Someday in this state, I hope the governor comes to the podium someday, does an actual announcement, and has their data person right there beside them explaining why. Why are we making these decisions? This is what the data from our state says. Now, my kids are baseball players, and we've been playing baseball for a couple months now. And I can tell you, we in York County haven't had any issues with COVID-related issues with baseball. Other sports have been playing. What does that data say about youth sports in this state? Can we get a determination? Has the Department of Health even looked at ongoing sports and made conclusions about what's happening here? Have they gone to schools and said, you know, you've been practicing, what are your outcomes with the procedures you have in place? Did they go to Mike Reese's school district or his rec league and ask them, you know, what procedures do you have in place and how successful are you? They haven't. Now, I did do right to know requests, and because of our law, they're now a little more forthcoming. I know one local reporter asked them specifically, what specific data did you use to make the determination that fall sports shouldn't happen for school districts and rec leagues? Their data came back. We have a wealth of information on our dashboard, none of which covers really youth or sports-oriented programs. There was a study that came out on Sunday, mind you, a couple days after they made the announcement, reflecting 97,000 children nationally in the last 2 weeks of July contracted COVID. Also interesting, that study also points to students as being up to the age of 24. Probably have colleagues that age in the house. Just saying, they're probably not children. What other? They highlighted a child illness, which, you know, 40% of the kids or 20% of the kids or something, that number contracted this in the past 10 to 20 years, which has nothing to do really with what we're discussing. But the simple fact that they can now be challenged and start telling Pennsylvania residents, who are not dumb people, Pennsylvanians understand data. They understand if you explain why you're making decisions, they can come up to the same conclusion as you. But we have yet to see the governor or his administration provide any data on any decision they made between bars and restaurants, school athletics, anything. To this point of June 3rd, they offer guidance on how to open, and then on August 10th, after school districts work tirelessly with stakeholders, with parents, with coaches, on guidance of, hey, we want you to actually close now. What does that say? What does that say to a governor who makes a remark at the end of a press conference with no backing, no knowledge, and throws everything school districts have done to the wayside? It's unfair, it's unprofessional, and that's why we need to do these bills to return control back to the parents, the local school boards, and put policies in place that help our kids moving forward.